Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am super beyond excited for this video because I'm going to be doing another no drama dupes, and today we're going to be talking about Huda Beauty's new Neon Pink Obsessions palette, which I think is absolutely stunning. It is the prettiest combination of pinks and purples, and I fell in love with it at first sight. But for me personally, I don't agree with Huda Beauty's cruelty-free status because they sell them in glasses, so it's not a palette that I plan on purchasing. So I decided to go into my own collection and check out my different singles and put a palette together. This series is something I do on my channel specifically for someone who sees a makeup product and they love it, but there's some reason other than the actual makeup why they don't want to purchase it. Like if you don't agree with the owner's morals, or you don't agree with the cruelty-free status, or you don't agree with something that the product is promoting, anything like that, anything that would qualify as like drama. I just want to go ahead and take the colors and as close to the formula as I can and just dupe it and be happy with my own version, since I won't be purchasing that one. So that's the whole point of this. It's really not to be shady or anything, like buy whatever you want to buy, but for me personally, I feel like this video is really good for me, for my budget, for shopping my stash, and for not buying things that I don't feel comfortable with buying. So like I said, today we're doing the Neon Pink Obsessions palette, which hasn't even launched yet, so it was a little bit difficult to dupe because I only had like 2 pictures, one of the palette, and I'm not sure what the lighting was in that situation, and then another of swatches that looked like it was in really artificial lighting. So I tried to do the best that I possibly could. And I feel like overall definitely duped the vibes of this palette, and I think that the color scheme together is really beautiful, but I cannot promise that every shade is spot on. Like, I'm just looking at pictures on a phone. So this is my little dupe version of the palette, and not every single shade here is available as a single anymore, but I just wanted to go through my collection and kind of, you know, if you see this palette and you like the idea, you can kind of be inspired. You could do a BYOP on ColourPop, or look through your own palette collection. You don't necessarily have to have singles. This is just a reminder to look into what you have, but these are what I found personally in my collection that I felt was as close to what I could get in that palette, and undertones and everything. So overall, I think that the only 2 shades that are in here that aren't available are available in a palette, so we'll get to that in a little bit, but this is my version. I just have it in a little Tarte 9-pan palette. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to say before we jump into the swatches, but I think that's everything, other than if you like the look that I'm wearing on my face, it will be at the end of the video so you can see how to achieve it. So let's go ahead and jump into the swatches. Alright, so the first shade in Huda's palette looks to be a really beautiful soft peachy shade, pulling more on the pink side. I don't have anything exactly like that, but I tried to do my best with a like more pinky toned peach, but I feel like this shade is a little bit more peachy than the Huda one from what I can see from the swatches. In the palette, it looks pretty similar, but on swatches, the Huda one looks just a tiny bit more pink. So this is ColourPop Centerfold, and this shade actually does build up really, really well. Like, you can get it pretty deep, but I'm just going to go ahead and do like one quick little layer swatch, which is pretty like comparable to what you see there. Actually, maybe I'll do like one more. So there is ColourPop Centerfold. It's just a really beautiful soft peach. My arm is stained from actually swatching these yesterday and going through all of my colors, trying to decide what was best for this palette. Alright, so the next shade in the Huda palette is like a really beautiful metallic pink shade, and it looks to have like a subtle shift to it, almost like a deeper cool tone pink base, which I don't really have anything very comparable to from the way that it looks like it swatches, but I feel like on the eye it would just look like a metallic soft pink. So I went ahead and chose On the Fence from ColourPop, which is a metallic soft pink. I was between this one and one of the foiled shades from Makeup Geek, but I think either one will do, just like a nice pink soft shade. Alright, so there is On the Fence. Alright, so the next shade in the palette looks to be like a really beautiful peachy coral, a little bit more on the bright side, and I feel like the shade I have for this one is actually extremely comparable, just looking at the swatches that I did in like this type of like artificial lighting. I felt like they looked super spot on. So I went ahead and chose Spring Break from Carity Cosmetics, which I was kind of shocked. Like, I chose the color, and then afterwards I looked at the brands and I was like, oh, Carity. Like, I bought this, or I got this single like just on random because it was like free, or I was using it to get free shipping or something along those lines. So I was never expecting to really use this single, but it actually looks absolutely perfect for this like dupe here. So there's what that looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and just build it up a little bit. See. So the next shade in the palette is a true neon hot pink. I feel like that is probably one of the easiest shades to dupe. I went ahead and chose Colored Rain Party Drip. This is only available in the pressed pigment palette now. They used to have this available as singles and as a bundle of singles. Unfortunately now you can't buy it like that, but I will say if you're looking for a really hot neon pink, you could also try Sandbar from ColourPop. That is similar. It's a little tiny bit deeper, which is why I went ahead and went with the Colored Rain one, because I felt like this one was just a touch brighter, but they are pretty comparable, and it's just a super nice hot pink matte shade. Super bright, which is exactly what we went for a neon pink palette. All right, so the next shade in the palette is a beautiful like mid-tone purple metallic shade. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like this has the tiniest bit of a purple reflect to it, so I kind of ran with that. You could maybe do something like Purple Haze from Looksy if you don't want to have that blue reflect, but I feel like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like I see just a tiny little bit of blue there. But again, this is just going off of one swatch picture alone. There has not been anything more released. But I just decided to go ahead and do Divina Charmed, which is this shade right here. It's a really beautiful like mid-tone purple with just a tiny bit of blue shift in it. I totally swirled my finger in the pan too much. Alright, the next shade in the palette is a really beautiful purpley pink shade. I'm not exactly sure how to describe this, but I felt like Bossed Up from Colored Rain was pretty similar. It's kind of like that same purpley, pinky, like just really bright shade. I feel like this kind of purple just works really well with this color scheme. Alright, the next shade in the palette is like a really beautiful, soft, lavendery purple. I love those kind of shades. I have a few, but I decided to go ahead and do M Cosmetics Lily because this is my favorite formula that I own of that type of shade, and it is just absolutely stunning. So here is Lily. I am building these shades up just a little bit so you can truly see the color, just because the swatch picture that I'm going off, the shades are obviously built up, so I'm trying to make it even. Alright, so the next shade in the palette is the Last Metallic, and it looks to be a lighter purple shade with a little bit of a blue duochrome again. I feel like looking in the pan, it just looks kind of like a purpley, like cool toned, almost like silvery shade, but looking at the swatches, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like I definitely see a blue reflect. If you don't want the blue reflect, Makeup Geek has a purpley, a foiled shadow that I was kind of debating to use. It has more of that silvery undertone, but in the end I decided to say, what the heck, I'm gonna go for the blue reflect just because I think it's pretty. It's kind of an, I don't know, an unexpected twist, and I feel like, again, I might be crazy, but I swear I see blue in that picture. So I decided to go ahead and choose Looksy Charmed. So not to confuse you, this one's Divina Charmed and this one is Looksy Charmed. It's kind of funny that that happened, but this is such a beautiful purpley blue, very light duochrome shade, and it is just stunning. Alright, last but not least is a, oh wait, there's one more metallic shade. Jeez, I take back what I said for the last color. This is the last metallic shade, and it is a like really beautiful metallic, kind of like a bright mid-tone pink, and this is definitely the shade that gave me the most trouble. I did not realize that I don't really buy pink single shadows because I went through every single palette that I own, and I had one that was like a square pan from a Menagerie palette that was like maybe, and then the other was this pink, and I decided to go ahead and go with this one just because A, it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and I felt like the Menagerie one had some orange undertones. So this is Enchanted Luster Cosmetics Flower Petal, and I feel like it ends up being kind of similar. It is like a bright metallic pink, so it works out, but it definitely kind of made me think like, do I need to purchase some more singles and like rethink it, because I feel like I found like a hole in my collection, especially like with the like lighter pink too. I was looking for other options and I just didn't have that many. First world problems. But I try to have a lot on hand for when I do videos like this. So here is the Enchanted Luster Cosmetics shade. It is very pigmented. I would say it's more of like a sheen, a shimmer. Like it's not super metallic, but I feel like it would pretty much do a very similar type of application, and you could spray it to make it more intense. So that is all of my dupes swatched out. I feel like overall, even if they're not exactly perfectly spot on, I definitely have a good alternative, and I love this color story. Definitely going to keep it in this little palette for a while and play with it. I did do more of a bold eye look today and tried to use every single shade just for that like sake of the video, but I do think this is really beautiful and just perfect for summer. And you could just kind of stick to doing some peachy shades, or just like this really hot pink and then maybe like the light pink all over the lid and call it a day, or just stick to the purples. I don't know, I really love this color story together. It screams summer to me, so I think that's it. All right, so if you have any questions about the shades, please feel free to comment down below. I will have them all listed in the description box in order to make it a little bit easier for you. So I hope you enjoy the dupes. Now let's go ahead and jump on into the tutorial. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Centerfold from ColourPop, and I'm gonna use that as my transition shade. I'm also going to go ahead and take that shade along the lower lash line. Then just building it up a little bit more. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take M Cosmetics Lily. And I'm going to put this into the inner corner of my eye and onto the lid right here. Just going to kind of wrap this purple around a little bit and just building it up in the crease right here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and go back in with the previous brush, just blend that edge out a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and take Party Drip, this hot pink from Colored Rain, and I'm going to put that through my crease. And I'm just going to build that up until it gets super neon pink. Again, just going to go with my previous brush and blend out that edge. I'm going to go back in with just a touch more of Lily to brighten it up. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take Bossed Up from Colored Rain, and I'm going to use this on my outer V. I'm going to go back into some more of that neon pink Party Drip and just build that up some more. Then just going back with my previous brush and just lightly blending that out. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take this shade right here, which is Spring Break from Carity Cosmetics. I'm going to throw that along my lower lash line. Again, grabbing a touch more of Lily, and I'm going to just build that up on the lower lash line where I kind of just softly had blended it before. Alright, so for the inner part of my lid, I'm going to go ahead and start off with Luxie Beauty Charmed. I'm just going to go ahead and put this just on the inner third. Alright, from the middle of my lid, I'm going to go ahead and take Divina Charmed. For the last little third of my lid, I'm going to go ahead and take Enchanted Luster Cosmetics Flower Petal. Go ahead and put this right here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take ColourPop On the Fence. And I'm going to pop that onto my inner corner. And then underneath my brow bone. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eyes off camera, and then I'll be right back. For highlighter today, I'm going to go ahead and use the Anastasia Dream Glow Kit, and I'm going to take the shade right here called Ethereal. For lipstick, I'm going to go ahead and use the Milan Row He's Mine liquid lipstick. Alright, so this is the finished look and the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!